You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We think we two-leggers have stress-filled lives. You know, sure, we have to worry about the mortgage. And yes, we never relish that snail pace of the rush hour traffic. And yep, some of us do fret over who will win on American Idol or Survivor. But guess what? It's no picnic full of hot dogs for some of our canine pals. They can't tell us in words, but they certainly convey their fears, anxieties, and phobias with their actions. Many of you listeners know all too well what I'm talking about. There are some dogs who turn into puddles of panic when a thunderstorm approaches. They cower under the bed or leap into the empty bathtub. Others yap, yap, yap whenever the doorbell rings and just never seem to find that mute button to turn themselves into hush puppies. There's some dogs that are so anxious about being home alone that they spend the day chewing through walls or turning pillows into confetti. Fortunately, help is here. Our show today features not one, but two special guests who use their talents to restore calmness in dogs. I ask that you give pause and applause to Linda Tellington Jones. She is the founder of the Tellington Touch therapy. You know it best as the T-Touch. And Phil Blizzard, and I got to tell you, I love your last name, the inventor of an amazing piece of clothing called the Thundershirt that is effective in erasing the panic in some anxious dogs. Linda, Phil, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having me on.
All right, guys, we're going to learn about the scientific benefits of therapeutic touch and how an engineer stumbled into a creation that is unleashing relief in dogs right after this commercial break. So, sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Greetings, human. What planet am I on?
Welcome to Pet Planet. Here's a copy of Pet Planet Magazine, Florida's most informative and fun pet resource magazine. It features heartwarming stories and informative articles from local and national pet experts.
Excellent.
Pet Planet Magazine offers Operation Planet Rescue, helping rescued pets find new homes. And it's available at 500 locations in South and Central Florida and 24/7 on the internet at petplanetmagazine.com. If you're out and about with your pet, you may be featured in Paparazzi, candid pictures of you and your pet. For up-to-date pet-friendly events, activities, and pet-related services and products, Pet Planet Magazine is your final destination.
I shall take this magazine home with me.
Back to your home planet?
No, to my condo in Boca.
Pet Planet Magazine. Check them out at www.petplanetmagazine.com or 352-394-8578. It's out of this world.
How many pets is too many? Do you know somebody whose life is overwhelmed by their animals? Maybe we can help. We're looking for people to be in a new TV series about really large animal families. We can offer expert help, free resources, and the chance to tell their story. If you or someone you know owns a house full of animals, call us toll-free at 1-877-MY-8-PETS. That's 1-877-MY-8-PETS.
Hello!
I'm Deborah Wolf, and I'm inviting you to my animal party on Pet Life Radio. My pet experts will be coming to the party to answer your pet questions, and they'll also be sharing their favorite stories and messages with us, but I'll be asking them some tough questions. We'll get their opinions on the hot-button topics like the pit bull ban, pet food, vaccines, religion, politics, and animals, cat decline, and the latest news. Whatever's turning the animal world on its head, we'll be talking about at the animal party. This party's got bite.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Thanks to the magic of podcast broadcast, this show is taking place in 4 locations. I'm in San Diego. My producer, Mark, is in Fort Lauderdale. My first special guest, Linda Tellington Jones, is on the air from Kona. That's Hawaii for all you jealous people. And Phil Blizzard is chatting with us from Durham, North Carolina. Wow. I think we've covered the geographical bases, don't you think, guys?
Absolutely. I think we got the temperature ranges covered as well.
Yeah. How about you, Linda?
And I'm sending you all aloha from Hawaii.
Oh, you are so good. You're so good. Today's show is going to be dedicated to the dogs who need some help in coping with life. Plopping on a couch in a psychologist's office isn't the answer for them. True healing, true inner calmness can be achieved by utilizing a variety of techniques of purposeful touch, and in some cases, wearing the right attire. That's why I am delighted to treat you listeners to a double dose of good information today. Our guests are Linda Tellington Jones, yes, the pioneer of the Tellington Touch method. For more than 40 years, she has aided all types of critters. We're talking dogs, cats, horses, even elephants. Also joining us is Phil Blizzard. He is the inventor of the Thundershirt. It looks like a cool-looking, snug-fitting T-shirt made for dogs, but its special design applies a gentle pressure that addresses anxiety and fear and other issues in many dogs. So, happily, Linda and Phil actually know each other, and they're working together to bring out the very best in our pets. So, I'm delighted that despite our geographical differences, we share a commonality. We really want to help our pets. So I'm going to start with you, Linda, a little bit. I mean, you're kind of like a rock star in the pet world. You're helping a lot of pets. I mean, I bet if you had if pets could have a Facebook page, you probably would have more hits than even like Garfield the cat or any dog that's a celebrity.
Right. I've been extremely blessed by having just wonderful people around the world who have been using the Tellington Touch training method for their dogs, cats, horses, all the animals, as you said, for many, many, many years. And I'm really excited to be on the show with Phil Blizzard because he has come up with an innovation that it's beyond a T-shirt. We use T-shirts for years, and we recommend them, but this is like a sports shirt. This is like going to the Olympics for your dog. Beautiful Thundershirt. And so I'll talk a little bit about how, just for a few minutes, about how we use T-Touch, for instance, and it's Tellington Touch. And I have to let you know it's not therapeutic touch. There's a wonderful type of energy called therapeutic touch.
Okay.
This is actually, the Tellington Touch is a gentle system of these connected circular touches all over the body that has the intention of awakening the healing potential of the body. And anybody can do it, and that's the nice thing. Now, for fear of loud noises and thunder, because it is a really big problem for dog owners. Doing this gentle strokes, like a slide from the middle of the dog's head out over the base of the ear to the tips. Not just when the thunder comes, but get them used to it. What it does is affect the limbic system that controls the emotions, and it can really help overcome fear. And what we recommend is about 4 sessions in just a few minutes if your dog is really nervous of the ear touches. And you can go on our website and actually see them on our YouTube, on our website at ttouch.com, and see how to do it, or you can get one of my books or tapes, but you can see it right on the YouTube.
Right.
And for years, we added to that the putting a elastic body wrap, like a ACE wrap, on the dogs. And that really helps. But the beauty of the Thundershirt is it's affordable, and you put it on and it just feels that the dog feels wrapped up and protected. I mean, I can't say enough great things about it. I'm going to let Phil jump in a little bit, and I'll come back to this about what your listeners can actually do for their animals with the use of T-Touch and the Thundershirt for this fear of loud noises and firecrackers, thunder, gunshots, that sort of thing. So, Arden, I'd like to turn this now over to Phil and have your listeners hear some more details on this really wonderful Thundershirt.
I think that sounds like a great idea, Linda. And Phil, I got to tell you, I've been walking my dog, Chipper, who is a wonderful 60-pound golden retriever husky who is happy, happy, happy. But if she thinks she hears or sees a skateboard, she becomes lip-licking, she yanks on the leash. The only thing I could do is get her to sit down. She won't take a treat, nothing. So for the last 3 days, I've fitted her with her very cool blue and white Thundershirt. It looks good on her. She's kind of a red and white dog. And it's actually calmed her down some. She's not completely over skateboards. She'll never be sending autographs to Tony Hawk, but it's made the walk a little bit better. So, when people hear, this guy's created a Thundershirt, what the heck is that? Why don't you help us out?
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad Chipper's seeing a little bit of help. A fear of skateboards is a new one for me, but we'll add that to the list.
Okay.
First of all, compared to Linda, I am a complete novice in this field. I come to this from personal necessity. My background is in engineering and product development. I was at Ford Motor Company for a bunch of years back in the 90s developing products like the Expedition and things. But we have a 10-year-old mutt named Dosey that suffers from noise anxiety. She's been frightened of thunderstorms and fireworks since she was a puppy. And the symptoms of her fear tend to be heavy panting, heavy shaking, tail between the legs, that kind of thing, and then clinging to us, which means if a storm hit in the middle of the night, Dosey was planted in the middle of our bed and just about shaking us onto the floor. And so we started looking around for what to do, both for Dosey's benefit, but also for our own sleep. First, we, of course, went to the veterinarian, and our veterinarian was very sympathetic, but not too optimistic about any solutions. All he had to suggest was basically a sedative. And we had a couple of problems with sedatives. First, you have to anticipate storms by at least an hour for the drug to take an effect, which is often not easily done when storms hit in the night, especially in how quickly they come around in North Carolina. And
yeah, you're not a weatherman either, so I mean, you have many talents, but yeah.
Even with my last name of Blizzard, I can't anticipate storms very well. And second, and even worse, was the sedatives would leave our dog groggy for 10 to 12 hours. So the storm would be long gone. Our dog would still be not feeling so great, and quality of life is not great with that. And even worse, she was a danger to herself. So my dog, in our house, and dogs get up on furniture quite a bit, and she would get up on the furniture while under the sedatives, and she'd jump off the furniture while under the sedatives, and her legs would collapse underneath her, and she was going to break a leg. So we quickly quit on the drugs. And so next we turned to trying to do some behavior modification training, which specifically we tried desensitization, which, by way of confession, again, my wife and I are terrible dog trainers. We're lucky to get our dogs potty trained or to be civil to guests. So something nuanced like desensitization is a real challenge for us. And we also have 3 young children, so the time commitment alone is problematic. But regardless, Dosey just doesn't even react to our artificial thunder noises. She knows the difference between the real deal and a stereo. So training was a flop. So for several years, we just coped with it. But early in 2008, a friend suggested that we try a snug-fitting shirt. And again, I'm an engineer by training, so my response to that was, why in the world would that work? But we gave it a shot during one nighttime storm, and we grabbed an old T-shirt and some packing tape, and we wrestled the shirt over Dosey's head and threaded her legs through the armholes, which not at all an easy task with a stressed-out dog. And then we wrapped some packing tape around the torso to get a nice snug fit. It wasn't at all a pretty sight, but after a couple of minutes, Dosey's shakes had pretty much completely disappeared, and she lay down and basically slept through the rest of the storm. We were completely amazed. And it wasn't a one-hit wonder. When the next storms came, we tried it again, and we had the same results. So that's when I became very interested in this approach. Why does this work? Why didn't the veterinarians or the trainers that we consulted know about this, and are there any commercial products out there for this? And after a lot of research, that's when I started learning about T-Touch and the fact that T-Touch practitioners have been using pressure for years to deal with these types of anxieties, and using things like old T-shirts and ACE bandages. We decided that a commercial product would make sense in this field, especially when we learned how many dogs suffer from various anxieties. There's 70 million dogs in this country, and by estimates that we see, probably 15 million of them suffer from anxieties serious enough to be seeking out help.
That's almost half the population of Canada. I just watched the Olympics. They have like 30 million people in the whole country of Canada. So listeners, imagine half of all of Canada are four-legged dogs with anxiety issues. That's high numbers, Phil.
No doubt about it, which is why we became very interested in trying to figure this out. And first question we usually get is, how does this work? And how does a Thundershirt work? And it's a pretty remarkable product in its simplicity. I mean, Thundershirt and the pressure wraps that Linda and her T-Touch practitioners have been doing for years, but it just puts gentle, constant pressure around a dog's torso. At least that's the Thundershirt version. And it's not just for Thunder, like you mentioned. Basically, anytime a dog is anxious or fearful or overexcited, this pressure can have a dramatic calming effect. So for things like fear of thunder and fireworks, of course, but also separation anxiety, travel, crate anxieties, even barking problems and leash problems, we've seen great results. And so, the next question is, why does this work? Why does pressure have this calming effect? We don't know is the answer. The anxiety experts we've consulted suggest that it's likely endorphins or oxytocins or some other hormone that is being released, but there is a physical response to the pressure. It just hasn't been confirmed what exactly internally is happening. And Linda may be able to shed more light on that than I can.
Yeah, and I think this is a good time where we need to take a quick commercial break, because I think this is fascinating, and we're going to have Linda Tellington Jones and Phil Blizzard right back on our show to explain some of the science behind this right after this commercial break. So sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
It's time for school for you and your friends, your furry best friends. Train your dog the fun and easy way with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Teacher's Pet host Pia Silvani teaches you step-by-step how to train your dog the fun and easy way. You get 8 30-minute live audio training sessions, complete transcripts of each session, plus a basic training manual to get you and your dog off to a great start. Training begins the moment you bring your dog home. Teacher's Pet Sessions offers positive reinforcement training to shape your dog's behavior and encourages upbeat, enthusiastic responses to ensure that your dog will enjoy learning. Teacher's Pet Sessions dog training is fun at both ends of the leash. So listen, learn, and laugh with your dog with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Get your copy of Teacher's Pet Sessions Volume 1 today. To order, go to teacherspetsessions.com.
Hi, this is Pia Silvani, your host. Bring your dog, tug toy, and treats, and get ready to have some fun.
teacherspetsessions.com.
Pets can be a wonderful addition to your life because they're a member of the family. Keeping them healthy and happy is important. Pet Life Radio presents The Pet Doctor with veterinary media consultant and veterinarian Dr. Bernadine Cruz. Whether you have a dog, cat, reptile, or rabbit, you'll find answers for your pets straight from the vets. The Pet Doctor, on demand every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, it's Victoria Stilwell from Animal Planet. It's me, or the dog. You're listening to Oh Behave with Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We are having two very special guests on our show. We have Linda Tellington Jones, the creator of the Tellington Touch, and we have Phil Blizzard, the inventor of an amazing innovation called the Thundershirt. And because you guys are being so nice and patient and pleasant, we are going to give away a copy of one of Linda Tellington Jones's amazing Tellington Touch books and DVDs to those who email Arden at Ardenmore with the code word Tellington Touch. And for those with dogs that need a little help because they're kind of anxious or have other issues, Phil Blizzard is generously going to be giving away not one, but 3 of the Thundershirts for the first 3 listeners who email Arden at Ardenmore with the code word, it's easy, Thundershirt. And we're going to be posting this in my Arden Moore Knows Pets e-newsletter, and we'll be announcing the winners in April. So for all of you listening, and I know you are from all the way from San Diego to Singapore, this is your time to win these amazing gifts. So Linda and Phil, we're back on, and I do want to get into the science. I know, Linda, you were talking a little bit about the limbic system in the brain, which is for people and for pets, and that's sort of our emotional headquarters, isn't it?
It's really important, actually. This came up, and I looked up this specific information last week because I did a fundraiser for our local humane society, and we were talking about how you can use the earwork in the case of shock, the strokes and the slides on the ears in the case of shock. And one of our people in the class went home, and that night her Pomeranian had an attack and passed out and was unconscious. And she used some earwork, and the dog came back. She's a 15-year-old dog with a heart problem. And so she called her vet, and her vet said, well, don't use the earwork. It just relaxes them. Rub the paws. So Barbara started to rub the paws, but the dog started to kind of go again. So she went back on the ears. Well, and the dog was fine. Actually, she's still fine. This is like 10 days later. And so I talked to the vet about it and looked this up, and the fact is that the limbic system is the part of the brain that controls our emotions. And it has to do with the fight and flight. It regulates the fight and flight behavior in animals. And it affects the breathing, the heart regulation, the temperature, seeing and smelling. I mean, it has so much effect. And the reason that the T-Touch works is that we actually, by working the ears with these slides, you can affect the limbic system. And by also, what I was going to say to Phil is by taking a dog who is so fearful as this, when she's not in a state of fear, do these little circular touches on the gums and in her mouth very gently, all around her mouth, is another way of connecting to that limbic system so that you help to override the fear. And it's really interesting. I don't know if you're acquainted with this Daniel Goleman's book, Emotional Intelligence. In Chapter 2, he writes about the connection of taste and smell to the limbic system. And that is one of the reasons that we believe that this work is so effective with the ears and the mouth in releasing that fear. And the other thing is, Phil talked about his dog tucking the tail, or was that you?
Right.
I can't remember. But just think about that. Whenever you get any part of the body, like they don't want their paws touched or the dog touches the tail, we do these little circular touches, moving the tail gently. And if they don't want the tail to be touched, you say, oh, good, my dog doesn't like that. So you say, how can I bring him or her to the point that she feels confidence and comfort when I do these little moving the skin in a circle and a quarter on the tail. And we put the tail against the thigh in that case so that they can't tuck it, but it's still against their own body, and you work down over the tail. And all these, as I say, you can go on YouTube and see this stuff.
Thank goodness for YouTube and these nice videos. I mean, both of your websites, thetouch.com and thundershirt.com, you do a bravo job of being able to show people through short videos just how this technique works and how the Thundershirt works. I mean, it's really easy to put on the shirt, Phil. I think Chipper thinks she's like the fashion doggy diva now on Todd Street when we're going for a walk, because she looks quite nice in the Thundershirt.
Yes, and I think you can put a nice little brooch or heart on it.
Right, and I try to be very relaxed and upbeat because I know that the emotions at the other end of the leash also play a role, right, Linda?
Yes, Exactly. And that's one of the things that I was going to say to you also, is the philosophy of the Tellington method is to bring the power of our own thought to changing the behavior of the animal. Because what I observe, and I teach around the world, we have certified Tellington practitioners in 27 countries. And what I find with people is that they see the way the dog's behavior is, and that's fixed in their mind. And in order to change it, you use the Thundershirt, you use the T-touches, but you also hold the emotion. So, Arden, what we have discovered through extensive biofeedback studies is that when a person gently moves the skin on their dog in a circle and a quarter, and it's not moving over the skin, it's gently moving the skin, that there is an activation in both hemispheres of the brain of the person doing the work, so that they really activate the logical and intuitive part of the brain. And it sounds a little technical, but actually what it does is really give you the full potential, and it connects you to your dog in a way that is really remarkable. So you asked me about the prizes. I know you're giving prizes. I think that's very
I listened to you. Good for you. You were listening. Yes, listeners, Linda Tellington Jones and Phil Blizzard have been wonderful on the show. And I'm not Oprah, so you're not getting a new car, so don't get too excited. But I'm going after the show to send both of you autographed copies of my book, Happy Dog, Happy You. I think it's appropriate for the work that you guys do to bring out the best in dogs. And it actually got voted best book by the Pet Age magazine, their Pinnacle Awards, so I must have done something right. But I do want to send it both, so I'm going to send you autographed copies after the show. And I do appreciate the fact that you're both sending out good, cool prizes to our listeners with Linda Tellington Jones a book and a DVD that she's going to autograph, as long as you are the first two to send the arden@ardenmoore.com email with the code words Tellington Touch. And Phil Blizzard is very nice to give away not one, not two, but 3 of the Thundershirts to the first 3 who email me, and they'll be all put on my e-newsletter as well with the code words Thundershirt. So, I mean, that's very nice of both of you, but it sounds like to me you both really, really are concerned about our dogs. And, I mean, gosh, there's over 70 million dogs, and there's millions that have some issues. And I just feel honored to have you both on as my guest. And, Phil, do you want to add anything?
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's amazing how many dogs suffer from this, and definitely one of the most rewarding parts of doing Thundershirt and this company are just all the emails and phone calls we get from dog owners and veterinarians and trainers that are seeing results using pressure reps, and just how surprised they are how effective that these types of pressure reps can be for some very traumatic problems.
I think that's great, and I think it's also great that the two of your worlds collided. That's not a good verb probably, but maybe they harmonized. And for someone of the stature of Linda Tellington Jones to give a shout out to you, Phil, you must have the real deal.
He does have the real deal, and I'm just thrilled to work with him on this. And we recommend it to all of our practitioners, many of them actually from different countries, order from Phil. And what I'm going to do is give a copy of Getting into Touch with Your Dog, A Gentle Approach to Influencing Behavior, Health, and Performance. It's like a cookbook, and it tells you how to do the touches and when and where and why. I just love this little book. It's called The Tellington Touch, Caring for Animals with Your Heart and Hands. And it's with all animals, not just dogs. And then there is I'm going to give the DVD, Unleash Your Dog's Potential, which shows you all the touches. And then you can decide, like whoever gets first, second, and third can get the choice.
Okay. That sounds like a deal. I love it. Yeah, and it's nice to find a solution that isn't a bunch of dumbing down of medications, because I believe in talking with veterinarians too, they don't really like giving anti-anxiety meds just chronically for our dogs. It should be only used in cases where, maybe it's used in complement to a behavior modification or a technique like the Tellington Touch, with the goal of being able to address the core problem, the core issue affecting our dogs.
we've been amazed at how open the veterinarian community has been to these types of solutions. We have well over 1,000 vets that are recommending them now for their clients. And
that's great.
We believe that a pressure wrap should really become a standard solution to try for a wide variety of anxieties. They're very inexpensive, they're very easy to use, and they're completely safe. So we look forward to a lot more dog owners trying them.
Well, that is great. And there's a lot of people out there that are very interested in the Tellington Touch method. And on the ttouch.com site, listeners, go check it out, because there are many opportunities for you to actually go back to school and learn how to become a practitioner. And then I hope you dash over to the thundershirt.com site and see some of these amazing videos. There's one that I was really amazed. It was a Boston Terrier that was totally freaking out by a thunderstorm and then wore the Thundershirt. And during the storm, the little Boston Terrier is just kind of like laying down, relaxed, and going to sleep. So there's a lot of evidence, and you are dealing with an engineer. So somebody like a Phil Blizzard, if their mother told them they loved them, I think Phil would probably check it out. Right, Phil?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm very happy that both of you have been on our show. Again, go to thundershirt.com and ttouch.com and go to email Arden at ardenmoore.com, because they're giving away a lot of goodies. And you can check it out on the Arden Moore Knows Pets e-newsletter in March and in April. And the code words again are, it's easy, Tellington Touch and Thundershirt. That's it for today. I want to again thank my very special guest, Linda Tellington Jones and Phil Blizzard, and of course my producer, Mark Winter, who makes this show happen each and every week. And until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.